Let me turn that down a little bit for you. But it's Saturday, and I've had some time, so it's like, let's do some streaming. In honor of Saturday and alliterations, because alliterations are awesome. We'll have some synthwave for Saturday. Check out White Bad Audio. They rock. I like their stuff. And it's all like copyright free and stuff. So, woo! Thank you for that, White Bad. So yesterday we were working on haunts. Today we'll keep working on haunts. We made a big change about like greening our text line test. And there was a few things we wanted to clean up afterwards. Namely, this. So let's clean it up. While I'm here, let me open Discord in the other tab here. Other monitor. Okay, someone's trying to get a hold of me. Okay. Let's see here. So, this one was stubbed. Yeah, what's the easiest one to do? Oh, the other thing we need to do is green up our CI. Let's sign in. Yeah, this one, it's like, it didn't work. Namely, our rendering tests have failed. But I think what we did was, oh no, we didn't upload any artifacts. Let's see what happened there. My understanding was if we said artifacts, that we would get them. What, Squint Heart D6F6. Oh, the literal tip of tree. Okay, so I would have expected artifacts to show up. What did we do wrong? Maybe we didn't. Do it right. That's my bet. I bet we didn't do it right. Let's figure out how to do it right. So. Okay, did I call it path and name? I think I did. The order shouldn't matter here. Like, whether I say name path or path name. Okay, maybe we need to look more at the packaging artifacts. So. Yeah. Make test report should work, right? should be empty. Yeah. Uh, mhm. Is it that the test failed so the artifacts don't get pushed? Probably. Okay. Maybe instead of that, I will do a Bear push artifact. Make test or make test report. Now if I do it and, is that... What has higher precedence, and or or? Um... Alright. Are left associated with left associativity. So that's great and all. If this succeeds, I don't think any of this runs, and then if this fails, all of this runs. So then we should be able to do and at Veyor, what would they say, push artifact? Test data test report.tar.gz. You don't need that. I mean, let's try it. What could go wrong? It could not work, which is already what we have, so who cares? Alright, CI tools. Another attempt at pushing test report artifacts. Yep, they were. Okay, so that'll kick off a build, and we'll let it chooch. Less verbose logging in, text line, core draw. Let's do that. We'll keep that logger. Yeah, we don't need that. We'll set it to a debug. One thing I wanted to do was add like a trace logger for like when we really get into the weeds, right? So let's do that now. It's this, but with level debug -4. And there's a type called trace logger. It's an interface. And it's basically just a slog logger. Your struct. Now, alright, you're not an interface, you're a struct. But you have a slog logger. Oh. Right. I'd rather be able to. I'd rather be able to call this than name this something. So let's just not explode it. So. It's actually a pointer to chase to a thinger. So, trying to understand what it's telling me. Cannot use a trace logger value type pointer and trace logger as a trace logger value. Oh, yeah. That makes perfect sense. And then trace loggers also know how to trace. And so go slog. Like, loggers know how to log or error or info, but now they're also going to know how to trace. So it's message and args. And then I got the dots wrong because I always do. And then you're just gonna do like log dot big log context dot background, and then level is so dot level debug -4, and then message and args. Now there might be a better way to do it because this will be like we're logging from glog.go. It's not quite what we want. There's a way to work around that. But we'll deal with it if it's see, I always get it wrong. So it's before the type or after the value. So between the type and the value. So if you only have a value, it's after the value. If you only have the type, it's before the type. Okay. Doesn't really tell me whether this should work or not. Maybe both of these work. Maybe I don't need to remember. It's always after the value. Let's be real here. Why do I have to type make test every time? Sorry, I got a bit of a stuffy nose today. What? So I think that's happiness. Okay, and then if we do like say make test run args is run test text line, give me the verbosity. We shouldn't see core draw. How far in my history is that? No, we do see core draw. Okay. Did I mistake the levels? Smaller values are more detailed. I called trace logger trace, right? I did. I don't understand that. Why? It's not somebody else printing, is it? So two things. One, we think the source is glog.go. I don't like that. Two, we're still printing it at debug -4. Oh! Well, yeah, we're printing it at -4 because we said, give me a logger, set its level to -4, and then call trace on it. Trace calls will be ignored unless the caller relevels. Now, we might need to say dash count, but this shouldn't print core draw. Good. I don't. I guess anywhere I call, give me a warning logger warn. Even a debug logger should by default, like if I follow this pattern, Even a debug logger by default should be at like the default level, and then I think that'll be something for another time. The change to add this, I think is right. What's their default level info? So let's say like, so I've got level info to do myself. We should use level info and expect callers who really want the message to level. Even better, have a current level in blog that we read from on construction. Yeah, I like that. I like that better. Okay. Alright, let's make the tests. I did CI. It failed, I think. But, you know, we wanted it to. No artifacts. Where did you fail? Same thing. So this is the call to the old make a test report. I would have expected that to work. The file not found is not coming from this command because we're creating it. Let's get this committed. Yeah. Okay. This is a refactor. Clean. Reduce logging verbosity in text line. Have to be in refactor mode. Yeah, that's a fine change. Okay, so I should get another build. But at the same time, like, why wouldn't this work? Test-report.tar.gz. Test report tar.gz. Test report tar.gz. Or does it make file make? Report.tar.gz. That'll do it. Test report tarball. That'll do it. Or that'll have a better shot at doing it. Fix for CI, point at fixed up path to reporting fireball. Okay, next up. Too much work, too much think. Yep. Alright, we should stack rank these in terms of what we're actually going to work on, so that I don't have to think about it again. So we need to unstub GUI goes make function. We also need to comment and stubs need cleaning from text edit line. That seems not too bad. So we'll do it ahead of unstub. Now, text height arbitrarily chosen as 12. That might go after unstubbing. Justification chosen, that'll go with that, basically. Add dict for test is not what we want. Yeah, we'll get to it. Having to remember to call GUI init before rendering text is a foot gun. It's basically between these two. Storing the rendering queues should bring a dictionary module levels barfness. Yeah, it is. What would we do instead? We would have to have widgets. We'd have to teach widgets how to look up such things. That is probably up here. Oops. Let's actually put it there. This is just like use the type system. Let's do that here. And then it's a toss-up, so who cares what order it is. Alright, let's do it this way. So this is what we're working on now. Text edit lines, find offset points. Edit, GUI, text, edit line. So we're working on text line, but text edit line basically wraps text edit line basically wraps a text line. And we had to comment things out and stub stuff to get things green. So maybe we will make a test for this and be like, make a text edit line. Yeah. Yeah, we want a red test. Okay, so GUI text edit line test.go. This is going to be in GUI test. We have a func, which is test text edit line. Takes a t, which is a pointer to a testing.t. Just to make sure that my setup runs that test. Yeah, good. Alright. So test text edit line. We should be able to make a text edit line. Right? So t.run can graph. I don't know if this is going to be red or not, but I'm going to make it. GUI.make text edit line. What do you take? You take font name, the text, width, RGBA. Is it RGBA or RGB? Yeah, okay. And then result of that, if result is nil, b dot fatal, GUI make text edit line, return nil. Okay, and then for the same reasons and badness that we have to do silly things. Oops, your test, I want to know your test. Do we not already have this somewhere else? Ew. We're supposed to use the render test helper here. Test text one test.go should use the render test helpers. They're rolling their own rejection file thing, it would seem. But that's not what we're worried about right now. We're worried about, yeah, GUI init. Ugh. Might not need to GUI init for just the constructed one though. Let's try this. Yeah. Make a render queue, make some kind of dictionary for the font, and like hacky add dict for test. Blob font, the dict, and an empty shader bank. Alright, a little bit copy pasta, but that's almost why we want to do it that way. They should, working with the text line should feel like working with a text edit line and vice versa. So there's our red test. Docs read write txt. And then GUI text edit line test. We're testing. We should be able to construct text edit line like we do a text line. That's the red mode. We have our failing test, right? Let's green it. Okay, so why does this test fail? It fails because we panic. Go. Let's not panic. So it used to be that there was a find offset at index. Now, if I'm going to be honest with you, we're probably going to throw out most of what's in this file, mostly because it was really coupled to text line, and it shouldn't have been, and we changed all of text line, so but we're just greening, right? We're just trying to make it not fail. And we'll make things proper when we refactor. Do we dare? Okay, so we've made a change to make the test pass. And maybe we committed heresy in the act. That's okay. We're in green mode. We do the smallest thing we can to make the test pass. And we deal with heresy when we refactor. The fact that the test is passing when we're returning 42 for whenever anybody calls find offset at index is really just a consequence of not testing this code. We're not functionally testing what this code does. We're gonna have to. But I think that'll be like next up, right? Text edit line needs render tests. And we'll do this first, because, yeah. Okay, but we greened that test. The tests are green. We commit. Next. Don't panic. We're returning bogus values. Sure, but we need to add more tests to understand what wouldn't be bogus. Yep. Tis green. Oops, didn't add things. Okay, now we refactor. The heresy we committed was really just removing the panic that was there to make us write tests. But we have it in a to-do that will do it, so we don't need that panic. The refactor we can do is using our test helpers instead of reinventing the wheel. So we're like making rejection files and stuff, and it's like, but why do that? Why? We have our lovely render test. Come on. And here we have our should look like. Oh, we sorry, I had a different helper before. Should look like text is the other helper. Okay. Okay. The first refactor we will do is remove the duplication between should look like text and should look like file. Because they're very similar right now. Because they were copy paste. Yeah. So should look like file is like, give me your test data key and maybe give me a test number, and I'm gonna find a PNG file. Should look like text is like the same thing, except it's under text. Yeah, are you thinking what I'm thinking? This is just return should look like file actual key. Alright, it's the render. It's the text plus test data key. and anything else that was expected. Can I one slice from a single pin slice? We're about to find out. So actually do 2 on, right? The other thing we can do is just say, not this, but say that expected at 0 is actually text plus test data key, and then your expected. Look at that. We made some change, and all the tests are green. They're green because all of the things we care about are tested, and all of the tests passed. All the things we care about are tested and passing. We get to commit. This is the great unburdening that TDD gives you. If the tests are green, we good. Look at the diff. We really don't need all of that stuff. We just need to say, like, this. And then we're going to clean up our, should look like messages. It should look like file. Right? Because this is the name of the function. Yeah. So text should look like text is just like, by the way, it's in the text thing. What are you called? Test data, right? So when we look at the test data key that actually gets used, we pass it into expectation file. So test data key is just part of this string. It's wherever / what test family run generation tests. It's how far we are through in the table of tests, if there is a table of tests, otherwise it's 0. And then it's got a suffix. Yeah. Look at that. And then if things don't match, we tell you. And we tell you where we put the rejection. Look at that. It's lovely. It's lovely. And look how fast our tests are. Oops. They're not that fast. 2.5 seconds. They used to be 5 seconds. 2.5 seconds is still kind of slow, but most of the time we're going to be running make test, which will cache. So it's like 2.5 less 0.6. There's 1.9 seconds of testing to clicking. That's still quite a long time in terms of computation. I'm not going to profile it before it gets past 5 seconds. Okay, so we did a thing where we cleaned up should look like text and should look like file. What are we changing to do? Let's not add that. This is a cleanup. Deduplicate code between test. Not test, but should look like file and should look like text. That's whether a factor. Yeah, so let us make font. Nice. Okay. So now let's push so that we can run CI and get actual artifacts. But in the vein of pushing, let's keep pushing on making things good. Yeah, so text line test should use the render test column helpers. Yeah. 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 Yeah, see? We don't do none of this, we just say, so the render queue, render test should look like file. We don't need to do /test data. We do need to point out the right thing. Text, some text, so it should look like text. Some text. Look at that. We don't need to reinvent the wheel. It is sad making. And then this can be convey. And this can be a convey. If you're not familiar with it, convey is a behavior-driven development testing framework. Let me just finish this typing before I explain everything. Test run text line specs. Testing T. And we're gonna just say convey text line. Good work. We'll give it a T, and then we'll call text line specs. Now, my completer doesn't know how to complete that, unfortunately, but I know where I can go to crib. Text test. That's around here. Organize these imports. Alright, who calls read ping? Nobody. Goodbye. Who calls vertical flip text RGBA? Nobody. Goodbye. 141. Oh. So text line should be non-nil. Should not be nil? Look at that. We're just chucking code out and everything's still passing. It's so lovely. It's so lovely. It feels good, man. Yeah, of course we don't use a bunch of imports. Why would we need to do things ourselves? We have helpers for that. Awesome. Awesome. Look at this. Look at this diff. Look at all that red. It's so beautiful. It should use render test comp helpers. You're right, self. Git add to do and GUI text test line. Just one more for good measure. Whoops. Look at that. Clean. Reuse render test helpers in text line tests. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Look at that. Uploading artifacts. It's only 52K. Let's go see what we got. This is a problem. I want it to be red. And false. So make test. If that passes, good. Otherwise, do this and this and false. Fail. You shall not pass. All right. Is there an easier way to look at this? Because it's a long line. I don't like it. It probably is, but let's not worry about it right now. Let's worry about it right now. It shouldn't be long. YAML, multi-line string. There's like 7 different ways to do it, but maybe what I want is I don't know how many times I've read this page. I look it up, I solve the problem at hand, and then I forget the information. It's unfortunate. Trying to think if there's a better way to do it that I'll remember. At the end of the day, we have a script and we run multiple things, right? So, running tests. I guess what I want to know is, do they run these scripts with bash-e, where any error bails out immediately? Or can I add another line and say, if $? Not 0? Maybe the thing to do is like, or make app_var test report and fail, right? And then here, app_var test report and fail depends on test report. And then we do app_var with artifacts, test report tar, and then false. Deliberately signal failure from this recipe so that CI notices failing tests are red. Yeah. That's fine. It's fine. So instead of a bunch of shell scripts, it's either make test or make the report. Yeah. CI. What is this? This is a fix for CI. Mark failing test runs as failures instead of looking at the artifact upload results. Upload status. Well, we should have got artifacts, which is pretty cool. This draft. This one has artifacts. I don't like that. Oh, I know why it's doing that. Because we're told it to. Can we name these? Deployment name. Test. Dort. Tarball. We should probably mark it .phony too. But I bet you that the current build is, oh, it's running, but it's failing. Lazal. And it only has one artifact. Report.tar.gz. Let's see what happened. RM this one. Move from Windows. Nope. Let's see. Users. Me. Downloads. Just report .tar.gz to here. Oh, thanks for the frickin' permissions to execute a tar.gz. Just what I always wanted. Let's look at it before we just explode it. Let's not overwrite all of my stuff. Enter temp, cd temp, tar xf, the report. Look. So then if we look in here, credits 0 ping and credit 0 reg ping. Are they different? They differ. How do you tell it to actually print things? Is it like a new, like a encoding issue? One is 1.2K, the other is 2.6K. That's weird. Tis weird. It doesn't look different to me. Right? Nor do those, nor those. Nothing looks different. So why is it different? Because they look different. All the rejection files are like bigger than the originals. Why? I guess I'm not super familiar with the PNG format, but presumably there's like headers and stuff. File structure. Okay, so what's hex of this stuff? Hex across. Split. Okay, so like data is this. Data dot split dot make a list of it. Map int across it, and then map hex across that, and actually get it. 89, 50, 4E, 47, 0D, 0A, 1A, OA. Yeah. It's a pig. So I don't know why these files would be different. One of them is generated by Golang image encode. The other one is generated by Golang image encode. So, like, why would that happen? What's the ratio of file sizes? Maybe that'll... Oops. 2.2. Uh, 2645 over... Same. 3258 over... So if the expected is matches file, the rejected is matched. And it's pretty close when they're pretty close. We're gonna have to look at, like, what chunks there are, what types they have, and, like, try to reason about why there's extra chunks on one of them. Int chunks from being... Okay, this is a C program problem, not response. Glop. Test data. Temp. Who is your daddy and what does he do? I just want a ping inspector, not a stable diffusion ping inspector. Man. Oh, this is lovely. I like this. Thank you for that. And then before we go nuts, let's put this one here and that one there. Chunk outside. Chunk inside? Like, what? Image data, 1101 bytes. Image data, 2588 bytes. Five 1264, 8 bits per channel. Color RGB, color type grayscale. Conversion method deflate. Hold on. So the rejected file thinks there's color. If there's 8 bits per channel, RGB2. This thinks there's 8 bits per channel, but it's just grayscale. Does that mean there's some pixel in here that is not grayscale? Why would there be a not gray pixel in the test, in the CI? Interesting. I'll be right back. Okay. I'm wondering if where we do our comparison, right? We give it 2 images and we say if the bounds are not the same, there was a size mismatch. Do we see size mismatch? Nope. Otherwise, we draw it as an RGBA. If it's already an RGBA, just return it. Otherwise, make a new RGBA with those bounds and draw from source. And then we do a byte comparison on the pixels. Now, if this were a bit more involved and actually did like a diff, and then we check that the diff is empty, otherwise we print out the diff, that'll give us more information. I'm not sure I want to run with that all the time, but I think for now, it'll tell us what's going on. I'm just thinking, if every file rejects and we are printing out all the bytes, I mean, I guess we don't need to do this on CI. We can load these files ourselves and do this, draw them as RGBAs, and then checks the bytes. Yeah, I think I like that better. Okay, so we're gonna... What do we change here? Yeah, okay. Let's add this for now. Clean in CI. Don't re-push artifacts through config. Let's make a tool that can do this comparison for us. Tools, ping comp go. I'm gonna have to move. I'm gonna make their tools font encoder. Git move tools font recoder to tools font recoder. Right, and then I can make their tools ping comp. Tools ping comp. Ping comp.go. Now you can have a main. Okay, so we're going to take 2 arguments. os.rv, I think. What's args? Why call it args? If len what's args? Not equal to 3. Program ping A, ping B. Dot fatal. Need, well, usage. Program name. Ping comp. A dot ping, B dot ping. LHS, RHS is Mr. args 1. Args at 2. I mean, yeah, we could just panic here if it wasn't 3, but I'd prefer to send a usage message if we know that's what's going on. Alright, so LHS ping is image.decode. Must open LHS. Alright, that's ping. Really it's image ping. This is ping decode. And then func must open. Fname is a string, returns a IO reader. Please organize my imports. Ret air is os.open fname. If you're not nil, panic. Pump zero ref. Code os.open mod q mod w. Couldn't open fname because error. Return ret. We have to defer closing it. Man. That is decode. Decode Q W. Returns not an IO reader but an image. must png. Alright, so now we got two images. LHS RGBA is image. LHS. And then, yeah, see it. Func must RGBA. Given an image, which is an image.image, return a pointer to an image.rgba. Ret, okay, is image.as a pointer to. It could be an RGBA already. I mean, it won't be, but that's fine. If okay, return ret. Otherwise, we gotta draw it. So ret is image.new RGBA on image.bounds. So that's the right size, and then we need to draw to ret the image bounds from image on aligning naturally. Just drawing from the source, and then return ret. Organizing inputs. Do you return an error? No, you don't. You just do it. Okay. Cool. So we don't use these, and then we say bytes.compare RHS RGBA.pix and RHS RGBA.pix, and we just print it. So you still don't get things. We're gonna give you test data text temp, test data temp text credits 0 ping, and test data temp text credits 0 dot rejection ping. They're not the same. Okay. Dot print line image dot compare. We have to write it ourselves. Image compare. LHS, RHS are just images dot image. And we return an int. If bounds, if LHS bounds. If bounds not equal to RHS dot bounds. Return -1. For x is equal to bounds dot min dot x. X is less than bounds dot max dot x. X plus plus. This, but y. And then may is actually max. Baddies is a slice of midpoint. It's empty right now. If LHS.at xy not equal to RHS.at xy, baddies is append baddies comma image dot point on xy, right? And then if when baddies not 0, we'll just return when baddies. There's 233 dx. So out of 32,768 pixels, 233 of them were wrong. You're just going to return a slice of point and an int. Let's say LHS.at x, y, and RHS.at x, y, right? And then instead of image points, it's image.color. The color. And then it's like delta. Don't care is image compare on LHS, RGBA, and RHS, RGBA. And then it's like for I 0 I less than len of delta over 2 I plus 2 print line delta at I delta at I plus 1. So here's a question. Are any of these pixels not gray? Monochrome. For I in delta. If C dot R not equal to C dot G, or C dot G not equal to C dot B, dot print line not gray I C. We don't see any not gray, do we? So then what the heck? This is like one brighter, one dimmer, one dimmer, one brighter, one brighter. Is this like a hardware thing? I'd have thought XEFB would take care of that, where it'd be like, we're only, that's why we don't see a difference. There's only a few hundred pixels that are different, and they're only off by 1 in terms of luminance. Sometimes it's darker, sometimes it's brighter. Okay, so go away. Image.draw. No, draw.draw. Giving what was PIL again? Python Imaging Library. Yeah. Um, sorry. Realized I kind of just stared off into space for a while there, but I don't see how to do this directly, easily. Here's a question. If they're all gray, why does the second image use more bytes? I'm not sure. But this ping comp is helpful for understanding what's going on. I mean, it just spits it out for you right there. It's all in the top row, eh? So 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. The first 116 pixels are off by 1. I was seeing frame buffer mismatches on my Windows machine, or my Arch Linux machine, because I was running Xmonad and it was drawing window decorations over top of the frame. Hmm. Is that what it should be doing? That's a little nicer. Oh, the jank, it's lovely. Today I learned. Alright, I think I'm gonna call it there. We did a few refactors to clean things up from the last green step that we took, but we now have a much more solid understanding of why things are failing in CI. Namely, we're generating different images. And I think what we learned was that all of the pixels are early in the image, right? There's what? I don't know how many pixels there were, 10,000 or whatever. What is the width of these things? 100. The first 116 pixels. And we know there's a width of 512 and a height of 64. 112 is close to, but not equal to, double the height. Yeah. But yeah, I'm gonna call it here. Thanks for watching. I'll see you again next time.